Today, we're diving into two incredibly powerful and really personal stories from a couple of amazing women, Zitkala Sa and Bama. Now, they come from completely different worlds, but their childhood memories, they share this unforgettable theme, that first stinging moment you encounter prejudice, and that little spark of rebellion it lights inside you.
So, here's our plan. First, we're going to meet our two protagonists. Then, we'll walk through each of their defining childhood moments. Zitkala Sa's just awful first day at a boarding school, and Bama's eye-opening walk home. After that, we'll bring their stories together and really dig into why these single moments matter so much.
Okay, so on one hand, we've got Zitkala Sa. She's a Native American woman in the late 1800s, and she's up against this brutal, forced cultural assimilation. And on the other hand, we have Bama, a Tamil Dalit writer in modern-day India, who's confronting the cruel reality of the caste system. So you've got two young girls, separated by a whole century and a continent, who are both about to face an injustice that's going to shape the rest of their lives.
All right, our first story kicks off on a bitter cold day in what Zitkala Sa calls the Land of Apples. This is her very first day at the Carlisle Indian School, which was a government-run boarding school, and its mission really was to systematically erase her culture. I mean, for a young girl just ripped from her home, it is absolutely terrifying.
Can you just imagine the shock? Instead of the sounds of nature, there's this loud, metallic crash of a bell. Instead of the soft quiet of moccasins, it's the constant clatter of hard shoes on the floor. She's just been thrown into this world of noise and rules she can't understand, and she can feel her spirit just struggling for a freedom that has been snatched away.
And you know, this rigid new reality, it was in everything. Even a simple meal became this confusing ceremony run by bells. Zitkala Sa sits down too early, right away marking herself as different, and she's just overcome with fear. This wasn't about eating, it was about control, it was about conformity. But the worst is yet to come. Her friend Judawin, who knows just a little bit of English, delivers some absolutely horrifying news. She overheard the school staff planning to cut the girl's long hair. And for Zitkala Sa, this isn't just a haircut. It's an attack on her very soul.
You see, in her culture, hair meant everything. Short hair was a sign of grief, something mourners wore. And shingled hair, cut short and choppy, that was a mark of absolute shame, worn only by cowards who'd been captured in battle. To have her hair cut by her captors would be the ultimate, deepest humiliation. And in that moment, something inside her just snaps. While her friend basically gives up, saying they are strong, Zitkala Sa makes a different choice. This right here, this is the very first seed of a lifelong rebellion against oppression. She decides she is going to fight. And her rebellion begins. She sneaks into a dark room and crawls under a bed, trying to hide. But she can hear them, searching, their voices getting closer and closer. They find her. They drag her out as she kicks and scratches, this small girl fighting with every ounce of strength she has. But it's not enough. They overpower her. As she feels those cold scissors against her neck and hears them literally gnawing off her thick braids, something inside her just breaks. The fight is over. And in that moment of defeat, she feels like she's lost more than just her hair. She's lost her individuality, her spirit. She feels like an animal, herded and controlled. Okay, now let's travel across the world and jump forward in time to southern India. We meet a young girl named Bama. And unlike Zitkala Sa's traumatic arrival, Bama's story starts with a simple, everyday joy, the long, slow walk home from school. Her 10-minute walk usually takes her about an hour, and that's because the street is like this incredible theater of wonders. She's captivated by absolutely everything, the sights, the sounds, the smells. It's a world just buzzing with life and fun, all seen through the curious and totally innocent eyes of a child. But on this one day, she sees something that just strikes her as hilarious. There's an elder from her community, and he's carrying this small package of food, but he's holding it by the string, way out away from his body, like it's radioactive or something. She thinks it's so funny, she just wants to burst out laughing. And then the scene gets even weirder. The elder walks up to the landlord, bows down really low, and holds out the package. The landlord takes it, opens it, and just starts eating the vadais that are inside. Bama is completely baffled, but also totally amused by what looks like some strange, silly game. So when she gets home, she tells her older brother, Anand, the story, fully expecting him to laugh with her.
But he doesn't. He explains the grim reality. The man wasn't being funny. He was from a lower caste, a Dalit, and if he touched the food packet, the upper caste landlord would believe it was polluted. He was practicing what's called untouchability.
And just like that, her laughter dies. First, this wave of sadness washes over her, and then it's followed by this hot surge of anger. That funny scene is suddenly revealed for what it was, a disgusting act of humiliation. Her immediate gut reaction is pure defiance, this burning desire to go and touch the food herself, just to spit in the face of this absurd, inhuman rule.
So there you have it. Two girls, two moments of deep injustice. And in those very moments, you can see the first tiny seeds of rebellion being planted. Their fight for dignity has just begun.
Now, their rebellions took different forms, right? Sid Khalassa's was this raw, physical struggle, a desperate fight against a direct attack. Bama's was more intellectual, a sudden, furious understanding of an invisible system and an immediate urge to challenge it. But both were pure, powerful acts of resistance.
So here's the crucial point. It doesn't matter if it's cultural assimilation in America or the caste system in India. The goal of oppression is always the same. It's designed to humiliate, to control, and to strip people of their humanity by treating them as other, as something less than human.
But Bama's story takes this really hopeful turn. Her brother doesn't just explain the problem, he gives her a solution. He tells her that because they were born into their community, they'll never just be given respect. They have to earn it. They have to seize it. And the way to do that is through education. That becomes her weapon.
And she listens. She channels all of that anger, all that indignation into her studies. She works, as she says, in a frenzy almost. And the result? She stands first in her class. Education becomes her act of rebellion, a way to reclaim the very dignity that society was trying to deny her.
So, why do we remember these specific childhood stories? Well, it's because they show us that the fight for justice doesn't start with some grand political movement. It starts with a single, personal moment of realization, a moment where you just know something is wrong.
You know, these stories leave us with some really powerful truths. They show us that kids are not blind to injustice, and that the fight for dignity is something that connects all of us across cultures and across time. Oppression tries to erase who we are, but resistance always starts with that inner fire, that refusal to accept humiliation. And as Bama's story shows us, knowledge can be the most powerful tool we have to fight back.
Both Zit Khalassa and Bama grew up to become powerful writers and activists, and they dedicated their life to fighting the very systems that tried to crush them as children. And it leaves us with a question to think about. What are our own first memories of unfairness, and how have they defined the people